don't know if my kitty is going to let me do this, because he's determined to be pet. He's determined he wants attention. Anyways, Jane Kirkpatrick. Okay, I read this one all together in one place. I like the pioneer stories, but this here just drove me nuts. Okay, the decisions that the lady makes in it just, I don't know. It's based on a true story, and her decisions put everybody in jeopardy, so that was just really, really bothersome that she did that. And what she decided, it was kind of selfish of her, and a lot of people die in this book. I just wasn't that crazy about it. Not that her writing isn't good. Okay, he wants on my lap, I guess. Don't you? Oh yes, see, there we go. Yep, there we go. Yeah, he's gonna lay down on me now. Yes, so he thinks he's gonna, there we go. Yes. There we go. Kitty. That's Draco. He's 13 now. Scattered Bones by Mary Higgins. I know it's history, it's Canadian history. It's like she takes history and she makes a story out of it. But I'm sorry, I found it kind of boring. There's nothing too exciting happens in it, and it kind of dragged. But when I looked on Goodreads, I realized that people that lived in the areas she talks about, and I'm sorry, I believe this one was in Saskatchewan, but I can't remember for sure. I've been reading a lot of books, so I go from one book to the next. But and I can't read the back because I don't have my proper reading glasses on. But I don't know. It's just a story of people's lives. And the first chapter is very interesting because it talks about some Indians and what happens, but then it just gets boring. So anyways, I have this other book by Jane Kirkpatrick. Now this one I own. The other two are from the library. He's pushing on my hand. Pet me, pet me, pet me. He's licking me now. He's licking my hand. A Name of Her Own's not bad. I've been reading it. I'm not done it yet. I do like it better than Together All in One Place. It is better. Again, it's this one has Lewis and Clark in it, and the Indian lady, I can't say her name, that was with Lewis and Clark. You probably know who I mean. Starts with an S, but I can't say it. If you saw, what was that movie? Museum, Night at the Museum. You know who I'm talking about. The Indian lady that Robin Williams was falling in love with. Robin Williams, yes. A Name of Her Own. She is a mother, and she has two sons. One is a little weak, and her husband is going on this trip, and they want to go to Colombia. They want to discover new land, just like Lewis and Clark did, sort of thing. They want to trade with the different Native Indian groups or colonies or whatever you want to call them. And she wants to go with them. She doesn't want to be left alone with just her. He's going to be gone for months, so she doesn't want to be left alone. So she finds a way to go. And he is abusive to her. She does love him, but he gets drinking and he does slap her around. He's kind of mean, but yet they love each other. And anyways, once they get out there, then they have problems. They run into troubles, of course. They're going across wilderness. They're going, like it's unknown territory. And they almost starve to death. So then she starts to feel really bad. She's like, what kind of a mother am I? I forced my kids to come. They're dying. They're hungry. She's hungry. She's pregnant. And so then she feels really bad. But the story goes on. And like I say, I'm not done. But it's pretty good. Okay, and my dollar store glasses, aren't they funky? Now, I need a light. Hang on. There we go. Oh. Okay, this is all together in one place. For Madison Maisie Bacon, Bacon's her last name, a young wife living in South Wisconsin, the future appears every bit as promising as it is reassuringly predictable. A loving marriage, a well-organized home, the pleasure of planting an early spring garden. These are the carefully tended dreams that sustain her heart and nourish her soul. But when her husband of 2 years sells the homestead and informs her that they are heading west, Maisie's life is ripped down the middle like a poorly mended sheet forgotten in a midwestern storm. Her love is tried, her boundaries stretched, and the fabric of her faith tested. At the same time, she and 11 extraordinary women are pulled toward an uncertain destiny, one that binds them together through reluctance and longing and into acceptance and renewal. Based on an actual 1852 Oregon Trail incident, all together in one place, Book 1 in the Kinship and Courage series speaks to the strength in every woman and celebrates the promise of hope that unfailingly blooms amidst tragedy and challenge. So that says Book 1, so I don't know. I would look at the next book, if the library has it, in the series. If they have it, I'll have to go to the library and see if they have the next book. Scattered Bones. Ancient tragedies and contemporary grudges drive the story of life in Pelican Narrows, set in 1924. Scattered Bone tells of a community straddling the pull of their traditions and the lure of the modern world. Inspired by real-life events, Siggins gives a portrait of a town fighting to retain its dignity while the lure of lust and profit threatens to take it away. And this one here, A Name of Her Own, based on a true story. During the fur trapping era of the early 1800s, with 2 rambunctious young sons to raise, Marie Dorion refuses to be left behind in St. Louis when her husband heads west. Faced with hostile landscapes, an untried expedition leader, and her volatile husband, Marie finds that the daring act she hoped would bind her family together may, where's the kitty? May in the end tear them apart. History records that on the journey, Marie meets the famous Lewis and Clark interpreter Sakawanji, who, like Marie, is pregnant, married to a mixed-blood man of French-Canadian and Indian descent, and raising a son in a wild world. Together the women forge a friendship that will strengthen and uphold Marie long after they part, even as she fights for her children's very survival. With courage and faith that can only be fueled by a mother's love, she endures. Her story reminds us that women are bound together in history now and forever. It says, into a man's world of war, ambition, and intrigue steps a woman, a wife, a mother, Marie. What woman could go 2 or 3 years without her husband? Her children certainly couldn't. No, a mother must find a way. A mother could accomplish all that must be done. It was how a woman earned her mother name. It's one woman's struggle to keep her family together and alive.